story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there and welcome to CoreTV News on the hour with me, Sabena Izoku. Hopes for the release of over 200 abducted girls of Chibok by militant group Boko Haram has risen with the revelation that the group is in talks with the federal government to release the girls taken from the school 6 months ago and negotiate a ceasefire to a deadly insurgency that has claimed thousands of lives. An advisor to President Goodluck Jonathan and a man calling himself the Secretary General of Boko Haram told House of Service of the Voice of America late Thursday that discussions are underway in Saudi Arabia, aided by high-level officials from Chad and Cameroon. Boko Haram Dalandi Amadou, who is in Saudi Arabia, said the girls are in good condition and unharmed. Amadou, who would not elaborate on the conditions under which the girls will be freed, says Riyadh is not involved in the negotiations. On the 14th of April, dozens of Boko Haram fighters stormed a secondary school in the remote northeastern village of Chibok, kidnapping around 270 girls, whilst 57 managed to escape. Others have remained in captivity since. The fourth executive governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayose, has been sworn in. The swearing-in ceremony held at the Oluyemi Kayode Stadium in Ado-Ekiti was attended by PDP hierarchy and state governors. Fayose promised to run a people-oriented government as he takes the oath of office. Rashid has more in this report.
The electoral process in Ekiti governorship election held on the 21st of June 2014 came to a grand completion with the swearing-in of the governor-elect as the fourth executive governor in Ekiti. The Oluyemi Kayode Stadium was filled to capacity with PDP governors, former governors, ministers, and party stalwarts, accompanied by the national chairman of the party, Adamu Muazu, in attendance. Muazu thanked the people of Ekiti for voting in PDP and admonished Fayose to rule with the fear of God.
We thank you. We thank you. May God bless you all. Your son to do for you is a tough job. He needs your support. Ayo, God loves you. And the people of Ekiti love you. You must discharge your duty with the fear of God and with the love of these people. I pray that God will help you.
Fayose, who is taking oath for the second time as the governor of the state, decries the rising debt profile of the state. Reeling out his agenda, Fayose promises better life for Ekiti people.
I represent you. You are the Fayose that I represent. Am I correct? Yes. I am living for you. I am here to serve you. That is my assignment. And today I declare peace, prosperity, progress, employment, food, stomach infrastructure.
Party faithfuls in the state expressed joy over a fulfilled dream as they display optimism of a better government under Fayose.
Thank God for everything. And in fact, I cannot describe it more than it is glorious.
We know this is going to be an era of prosperity. It will be an era of peace in Ekiti because the people spoke. They made their choice. They got who they want. And I believe I trust our governor that he will do very well for Ekiti people.
With the swearing in of Governor Peter Ayodele Fayose for the second time as the governor of Ekiti State, the people of Ekiti are not new to Fayose, and Fayose is no doubt new to the people of Ekiti. But the political events that transpired between 2006 to this moment, it is indeed a new dawn in Ekiti State. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
Immediately after his swearing in as governor, Fayose went straight to business to make some proclamations on burning issues. Rashid completes the rest of the story.
Expectedly, Fayose reversed with immediate effect all decisions taken by former Governor Kayode Fayemi at the tail end of his administration. Issues like creation of additional local councils, appointment of new permanent secretaries, and purported mass employment received the kick.
The governor lost election. He appointed 8 permanent secretaries when you don't have vacancies. To my amazement, he employed over 3,000 people. To my amazement, an outgoing government creating 19 extra local governments. It is unfortunate. It is sad. And I want to appeal to you to please give me all the necessary cooperation, understanding, because the next few months might be slightly rough.
Trust Fayose to leverage on the moment as the ongoing tensions surrounding the judiciary did not escape his attention.
As a leader, as a governor, I am the father of the state. And I'm going to behave in that manner. I am going to work with the judiciary. I'm going to work harmoniously with the judiciary. We have to put all this in our past. I look forward to working with you, my CJ, Chief Judge. I want to assure you that all we need to do to move this step forward, we will collaborate together.
The media, which Fayose courted in good and bad times, also received his attention.
I'm appealing to the press. Give us a chance. Give us a chance. You have a role to play in the development of Nigeria. The press should please don't allow the truth to be perverted. It is true you have the last say, but say the last in the fear of God. For everyone shall come before God on the judgment day.
Ayo Fayose was impeached on the 16th of October 2006 and had his second oath exactly 8 years after. It is a second coming and indeed a second chance for the man dubbed the architect of modern Ekiti. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
And away from that, former head of state Muhammadu Buhari has picked up the presidential nomination form of the All Progressive Congress. This comes barely 24 hours after declaring his ambition to seek his party's nod to challenger President Goodluck Jonathan's at next year's election. And contrary to widely held view that he may not be able to afford 27.5 million naira nomination fee, Buhari said the money came from his account. The report.
It's only a few hours after he formally declared his intention to run for the presidency for the 4th time. Now, former head of state has gone a step further to collect APC's nomination form. Quite a number of the party's bigwigs accompanied Buhari to pick the forms, and one of them, who incidentally is President Jonathan's kinsman, handed over the check to APC officials.
We are here to pick up both the letter of the expression of intent and also the nomination ahead of the primaries to begin to get all the nominations. They say the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. This is our first step, sir. That is why I want to hand over to you the payment instrument for the expression of intent forms and the nomination forms.
Until the presidential aspirants showed up to pick the forms, Many people had wondered whether he will pay the required nomination fee, but he made it clear that he had no choice, even though he was initially opposed to the 27.5 million naira fee.
I don't want to go and ask somebody to pay for my nomination. If you could recall, even the last ones I had, I always try to pay myself, at least for the nomination. But 27.5 million naira in these days. Thank goodness I have personal relationship with the chairman of the manager of my bank in Kaduna. I put an early call. I think the forms are coming, whether I'm in red or green or black. Please, you must honor this, otherwise I will do the nomination. And I was about to go to Kaduna for a reason today. So I told the chairman, he said, well, you better pick your phone. And he kept a straight face. That means there's no excuse.
Party chairman John Odigwe Oyegun explained that the amount was meant to ensure that only serious aspirants showed interest. He described APC as government in waiting and added that any of the two presidential aspirants is capable of emerging victorious next year.
General, leader, the former head of state for this event today, I wish you the very best of luck. My prayer, as usual, is that God should have a hand in this event.
For now, two aspirants have picked up nomination forms after paying the mandatory nomination fee. But there are indications that at least two others will soon show up at the APC Secretariat to indicate their interest in flying the party's flag at the 2015 elections.
The presidency has described claims made by former head of state Muhammadu Buhari on the Jonathan's administration as reckless and baseless. Buhari had, while declaring interest in the presidential ticket of the All Progressive Congress, argued that the level of corruption is worse under President Goodluck Jonathan than at any time in Nigeria's history. But presidential spokesman Ruben Abati accused the former head of state of making false claims for political gains.
President Jonathan will continue to carry forward his transformation agenda in the power sector and other areas. The president will not be discouraged or deterred from his objective of repositioning Nigeria for accelerated and inclusive socio-economic development by the partisan and jaundiced views of power seekers like General Buhari, who cannot see the obvious result of the current administration's efforts through their blinkered eyes. We also draw the attention of Nigerians to the total lack of originality in the hackneyed manifesto offered to Nigerians yesterday by the APC presidential aspirant, General Buhari. All that General Buhari promises to do are already being done by the Jonathan administration to the acclaim of ordinary Nigerians, and there is no evidence before Nigerians that the APC leader and his acolytes can do them better.
Nigeria's largest opposition party, the All Progressive Congress, has laughed off the presidency's claims that the party's two leading presidential aspirants are serial losers. Party chairman John Odigwe Oyegun told journalists shortly after Muhammadu Buhari had picked up his nomination form at the APC Secretariat in Abuja that the 2015 will be different. He insisted that the People's Democratic Party will be faced with its biggest challenge since 1999, regardless of whoever ends up flying the party's flag at next year's election.
Well, it means that they are not good students of history and they are not realistic and practical. Before now, there had been no truly national alternative in this nation. Before now, we had the AMPP that was domiciled in the Northeast. We had the ACN that was largely domiciled in the Southwest. Of course, they had members all over the place. We had the APGA that was largely domiciled in the Southeast. These three forces have been welded together. Today, we have a national party that is represented, the APC, strongly in every corner of this nation. Today, man, woman, child are crying for change. The dynamics are different. And I pray they continue to misread the science. That will be good for us.
Kano State Governor Rabiu Kwakwanso on Thursday formally informed members of the All Progressive Congress caucus of the National Assembly of his intentions to seek party's presidential ticket. The governor reeled out his achievements in the last 3 years, but also justified why the party's presidential flag bearer should emerge through an elective process. According to him, it has always been easier for the People's Democratic Party to defeat opposition candidates in previous elections because none of the challengers emerged through proper elections.
People are worried, are very much concerned about the issue of primary election. Let me tell you that our Constitution has provided for consensus. It has also provided for election. And for those of us in PDP, we know who are in PDP. For those of us who came from PDP, we know the advantages and disadvantages of primary election. But if you look at it very critically, from 1999 to 2011, every year, or election year, PDP was having primary election. Even when we had sitting president, in 2003 and 2011, we had primary election. But all other parties were not doing primary election in the actual sense of it. You sit down and look at faces and say, you. That's a guesswork. Yes, maybe he's number one here, but when we go to the field, he may not be number one. And that is why I am personally calling for consensus. But if it doesn't happen, I believe primary election is also good for the party.
Earlier, Senate President David Mark had categorically told Kano State Governor and All Progressive Congress presidential aspirant Rabiu Kwakwanso that he cannot support his presidential ambition on the platform of the IPC. Mark said this when the governor paid him a courtesy call in order to brief him as well as solicit support for his aspiration. The Senate President also told him to feel free to return to the People's Democratic Party if he fails to pick APC presidential ticket. Kwakwanso, who described Mark's leadership of the National Assembly as powerful and responsible, said the Senate President had no choice but to support his ambition as former federal lawmaker. And away from that, the Yoruba Unity Forum is not happy about the recent additional 30,000 polling units by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The forum described the development as a twist by desperate politicians to manipulate the outcome of the 2015 general elections. Sheyi Adegoke attended the forum's meeting held at the Ikenne Remo in Ogun State. A report is presented from our studio.
Apart from the fact that the forum wants the federal government to subject the outcome of the national conference to a referendum, the meeting also took a decision to stop INEC's chairman Atai Rujega from implementing the planned creation of additional 30,000 polling units for the 2015 general elections. Secretary General of the forum, Anthony Adefuye, tasked INEC on the need to make clarification on the polling units in order to guard against undue speculations in the political arena.
Are not quite clear the criteria that were used to declare these 30,000 polling units, for which 22,000 were located in the north and only 8,000 was located in the south. If you look at the population of the north and south, you cannot get a disparity of 20,000 polling booths. The total polling booths in the southwest is not even up to 22,000 polling booths. So if you now increase the total polling booths of the north by 22,000, we need a lot of explanation or total cancellation of the process.
Well, I think that INEC should do more consultation, and then after which they can arrive at what to create more. What has happened shows that they have not consulted well. They have not consulted well, and that is what is affecting them. So I want to recommend to INEC to do further consultation, after which all stakeholders can embrace whatever decision they are going to take on the creation of.
The forum also advised the federal government to wake to its responsibility and vigorously tackle all the challenges confronting the nation, especially Boko Haram, corruption and unemployment in the country.
Remember the story of 59 soldiers being charged with mutiny? Well, journalists have been barred from covering the court's proceedings. That comes up after the break. We'll tell you more. Stay with us.
Glad to have you join us on another edition of The Political Arena, the most detailed and incisive political show.
If you are a sitting governor and the opposition is able to stomach structure against you, that means you are wicked to the people.
Give me 20 minutes to move or they will shoot me.
He has no chance for survival. If he likes himself, this is the best time to get out before he perishes.
The PDP as a ruling party has failed.
So anybody who thinks that government will fold his hands and allow miscreants to take over the streets of our own state and cause havoc is deceiving himself.
The good, bad, ugly and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on CoreTV News.
Welcome back to the news. Remember, you can join us on the social media for more information. It's facebook.com/CoreTV News and twitter.com/CoreTV News NG. On our YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV News. Leave a space on the news. Journalists covering the trial of 59 soldiers charged with mutiny have been barred from covering the court's proceedings. Chairman of the General Court Marshal Musa Yusuf argued that the decision was taken in national interest. He, however, assured Nigerians that journalists would be allowed to cover the ruling. Nigerian business mogul Tony Elumelu has launched an empowerment fund to revitalize the economies of post-conflict and disaster communities across the country. Speaking at the launch of the fund at the presidential villa, the banker says the intention is to transform communities in the country that are ravaged by natural disaster and violence. In his response, President Goodluck Jonathan commended the gesture of Tony Elumelu, who he described as a major contributor to the Victim Support Fund.
Only 2 months ago, we launched the Victims Support Fund to provide immediate assistance to our fellow citizens who have suffered the consequences of violent extremism over the last few years. While government continues her humane security operations to eliminate the threat and to restore law and order, we recognize that the assault on that region has all but destroyed infrastructure, displaced the population, and arrested economic activities. Rehabilitating those communities will require interventions, not just from the government alone, but also from the private sector. I am therefore pleased to see that Tony Elumelu and our industry and private sector leaders stepped up to the occasion by contributing significantly to the Victim Support Fund. Their kind gesture was a clear demonstration of how much the private and public sectors can achieve in working together for national transformation.
As the government executes domestic humanitarian intervention, relief and rehabilitation efforts in adversely impacted areas, he has also reached out to the private sector. While none of us wish to have a reason to donate to a natural disaster or post-conflict situation, we cannot ignore that these tragedies exist in our homeland. Nigerians are currently witnessing a crisis in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa. And not only must we act to secure and stabilize the region, we must be willfully optimistic and plan for a stable and prosperous future for our brothers and sisters there. And that is why I decided, through the Tony Elumelu Foundation to launch the Elumelu Nigeria Empowerment Fund. The Elumelu Nigeria Empowerment Fund is a non-profit organization that seeks to partner with local citizens to transform communities that have been ravaged by natural disasters, hazards, and conflicts into thriving and economically sustainable communities.
And that's it on the news. Do join us at the top of the hour for more. I am Sabena Izuku, and thank you very much indeed for watching.